How's it going?
It's going okay. Got a scratched cornea. I was climbing a tree, and then at one point I was leaning over to look back down at something, and one of the tiny little spiky branches just.
So the scratch you got is pretty big. Normally I would patch a large scratch, but because it's from plant material, like a tree branch, we're not sure like if there's fungus on there or whatnot, so we usually don't patch.
I was kind of excited about wearing an eye patch.
Yeah. You wanted to fulfill your pirate fantasy.
I know, it was like a really good excuse.
So we've been talking with a lot of different people about their experiences with extreme weather and perceptions of climate change. And I would say that for the most part, the people that we've talked with believe that the climate is changing in some way or another. The difference is in how people feel about the causes of climate change. Some of the people we've talked to believe that humans are part of the cause of climate change. Others have said that they think we're just in a natural cycle and humans don't have anything to do with it. And still others have said they don't really know one way or another and they're not quite sure how they feel about the issue. On a national scale, climate change has become such a highly politicized and emotion-laden issue. And so one of the points of this project is to kind of take a step back and try to put a human face on the different perspectives on climate change. The hope is that it might spark a little more constructive conversation. And so it's a long road still on our trip, and after a couple weeks in New York, we decided to head east into Massachusetts. So we rode up into the Berkshire Mountains, and actually shortly after getting up there, we ran into George Beebe, who's a commodity corn farmer, and he loves to talk politics. So George took a minute out of his day to sit down with us and talk about his perspectives on climate change and the relationship with politics.
My father was a doctor in Hartford, and so we'd come up here, and I came up here as a kid, and I started going to all the farms around here when I was 8 years old. I just said, oh, that's what I want to do. But I never expected to be able to do it. That's the key. I mean, that's the cool thing about America. You can realize your dreams. One of the reasons I like being a self-employed person, you can speak your mind. You're not beholden to all the customers and whatever everybody thinks of you. I enjoy growing large crops. I enjoy the fields. I enjoy it's aesthetic. It's almost artistic. I love seeing the long rows of corn, hillsides of hay. I like harvesting it and processing it. And for let's see, 12 years I was a professor, a teacher, and all I produced was hot air. I went from that to producing yellow gold. I sell half of my corn to Cargill in Port of Albany. Oh, terrible. Oh, big agriculture. Oh, terrible. Can't do that. It's all, oh, corn fructose. Terrible. Big ag. Oh, God. I went to a meeting a while ago that they were going to have, it's called Keep Farming and all these. And I walked in and, you know, I knew all the farmers growing up around here. And I walked in, there were 100 people in the room. And they were all, you know, rings in their ears, ponytails, bib overalls, trust funds, all had a quarter of an acre. They're all growing some sort of vegetable and called themselves farmers. I look around, there may be 4 real farmers, I mean, with big farms and stuff. That's all there is. I got up and I said, well, I'm a proprietor, owner, operator of River Hill Farms. And we have a cash grain operation. We're highly mechanized. Boo! I said, then somebody says, oh, you grow GMO seed? I said, yes. Sss. But these people are rabid, foam at the mouth, radical liberals out to change this country into a European-style socialist countries. And I used to be a liberal. I was in the Peace Corps. You know, I was in India building schools for the school partnership program. And everything was, you know, community. And you got to understand the liberal mentality. They're not for the individual, they're for the group. Everything is groups, community, collectivity, the collective, commune, communism. The individual is only a part. And we represent, conservatives, we represent the individual, individual freedom, not dependent on the government or small government, low taxation, pro-business. The individual wants to get rich and work hard and move up. That's what America's done its entire history, but not with these people. And I used to be a professor of political science over at Simon's Rock. And I was run out of there by absolute 100% Marxist, card-carrying communists. So I went on and I started building this farm.
Maybe you could talk to us about the weather in your area and how your work responds to and is impacted by the weather.
You don't usually get droughts, but right now we haven't had any rain in a couple of weeks. And you can see the crops are kind of struggling here, so we could use some rain. Yet 3 years ago it did nothing but rain. So the extremes are unbelievable.
Do you think climate change is a big issue?
No, that's a total hoax. It's another liberal hoax. See, this is the thing you got to understand. Everything is political. Even science is political now because it's driven by ideological objectives. Instead of looking for the truth, they're trying to advance their agenda, advance their goals.
What would the motivation be of?
Because they want to create, as William F. Buckley said, they want to emanatize the eschaton, meaning create heaven on earth. That's the socialist dogma. We want to make everybody equal, everything the same, everybody, no poverty, no wealthy people, everybody at the same level, everybody taken care of, central government takes you cradle to grave, all your needs are met. It's nirvana. The purpose of the climate change argument is to, this is the new, with the collapse of communism, they needed a new mantra. They needed some new vehicle whereby they can then subjugate people to a new cause. And the new cause was environmentalism. And they're on a mission. And the mission is, heaven on earth. The conservatives say, no, the world is just way too big to really, be altered the way these extremists say it's being altered by man. It's solar cycles. It's warming and cooling, which is natural. It has very little to do with man. But you see, where it's useful to the socialists and the liberals is, if, for example, this whole carbon thing, carbon footprints and carbon taxes, it allows the government to come in and interfere with your personal freedom by charging you a carbon tax for something that's not really provable. It's not man. It's just the climate. It's just, these huge galactical forces that are on, and we're simply just doing the best we can.
So do you think that the climate is changing in some way?
It's changing, and it always has changed. The difference is the environmentalists and the global warming crowd, they're saying it's man is doing it. And that's the basic issue.
So at the beginning of our conversation, you commented about the state of politics in this country and that we're kind of two totally separate factions,
Well, that's why it's interesting to talk to the other side.
Right. So and we haven't seen it since the Civil War.
This is as polarized as we were in the Civil War.
And do you have any idea what it would take to start being able to work together again?
We're not working together.
Right. So
it's going to be one side or the other takes over, and you've had your day. And 70% of the country is with us. And what the Tea Party is are people who have not been paying attention. I've been paying attention, but I'm one of the original charter members of the Tea Party. I was up there in the Pittsfield Green demonstrating, and the first one they had, the Tea Party everybody thought was dormant. It's going to come roaring back.